Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jody Patterson, Director of Client Development for Oasis Solutions. I think we have some current customers as well as some non-current customers on the line today. So just a brief introduction of myself and Laura Lashin from Alltech. As Director of Client Development, I work with our existing Sage and NetSuite customers for extended solutions. So we are bringing you today one of those extended solutions in how to go paperless in the hybrid workplace presentation by Alltech. Laura Lashin is the Sales Director of the Northeast region for Alltech. Laura and I have worked closely together for 7 years now, and thank you very much, Laura, for agreeing to do this webinar for us. Without further ado, we're going to, oh, sorry, I forgot to do the housekeeping. We are going to be remaining muted throughout the duration of the presentation today, but we do welcome questions. So please put your questions into the Q&A window. Falana Callahan, our marketing manager, will be monitoring the Q&A along with me, and we will address those at the end of the webinar if we have time. Otherwise, we will follow up with you individually to address the questions after the webinar. We are also recording, so the recording will be sent to you following the webinar today. So now, without further ado, turning it over to Laura.
Thank you, Jody, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. So, you know, in the past, there we go. So some of you may have heard the term digital transformation out the last few years. What is digital transformation? Think about all your documents and information being available electronically in a digital format, the ability to connect the people who need to work and process those documents, and all the data that goes along with it. Now, why is it so important? Why we talk about digital transformation now? It's because of the pandemic that's we're pretty much dealing with today. Is many of us are working remotely, and even though some offices are open up again, we're finding out that with the recent research by the Gartner Group that about 82% of people who are working part-time are still working remotely, and about for full-time people, companies 47% are allowing to work remotely, and then there are those that are flexible schedule as well. So at the end of the day is some of us are going to the office a couple of days, but then working at home a couple of days. So that's why digital transformation is important. Today, we're going to talk about why go paperless. We're going to talk about what is DocLink, and then also give you example, how can DocLink be used for within your accounts payable for AP automation, and also how it can also help impact your other department as well, enterprise-wide. So why go paperless? Now, so to give you actually visibility to your document. Again, some of you are working at home. You may have multiple offices throughout the world, and company have initiative to centralize the storage of all the information in one place so that you can access your documents and information anywhere at any time, right? And then there's also the streamlining of the of your process. Because by going electronic, there's no more need of walking that paper around, right? No more having to pick up the phone to find out where the documents at, because it's all done automatically by the system and being managed by the system. The ability to to minimize data entry. I'll bet you, some of you on the meeting right now is like you're spending a lot of your precious time doing that mundane data entry, right? How can we reduce that work effort? There's also automated delivery of documents that we're going to talk about today. And, leveraging the integration, the out-of-the-box integration with your ERP, and then also simplifying your audit process. Okay. So what is the benefit of going paperless? Is goodness, the ability to get rid of your file cabinets, the ability to stop paying for that offsite storage if you have any, or you may be a document that you're storing on, a warehouse somewhere, and the time that taking staff time to store those files, search for those files. You have multiple offices, and you have to carry all those documents over to corporate office. All that cost savings. And what about the time savings? Let's say you have an audit How long does it take you to find all those documents? Hours, weeks? And what about, to search? Wouldn't it be nice to able to search for your documents in a simple click in like literally seconds instead of having to walk to the file cabinet or make some phone calls? And then of course is the data entry, the time spending doing that duplicate data entry. When we can be pulling data, from documents and from your ERP software as well. And the approval process, how we can expedite the approval process. So you don't have to track and know where it's at, the information. But also the important is meeting your, strategic initiative for your organization. I tell you, many organizations have the need and they want to centralize the storage of all their documents in one place, not only for saving of storage costs, but also the time savings of searching for those documents, the ability to take advantage of early pay discount or not having to pay penalty fee because you're late. Or what about compliancy to the audit, for audits? Okay. And just finally is disaster preparedness. I live in California, so obviously, fire and earthquake, right? Some of you are in the hurricane zone and tornado zone. Is the ability to safeguard your data in your server. Backup is being done. So if something ever happens to your data, we can restore that information. So you have, zero data loss. Before we go any further, let's do a quick polling to find out how are you folks storing documents today. Are some of you storing it on site cabinet? What about off site? Are you paying company like Iron Mountain to pay, to store your files, or you still having to rent warehouse to store your files? Some of you, of course, all of us store documents on a network share folder, right? So we can get rid of that to have better security. That, of course, is within documents stored within in-house software application. And then, of course, the dungeon, or like I said, in Jody's basement, right? So share with us. Jody, what's the result?
Okay, let's look at this. We're getting results all over the board. The only one we haven't gotten a result for is in-house software application, which is the one that we should be seeing used to store documents.
Absolutely. So as I can see here, the result of many of you is paying for offsite storage. So calculate and figure out how much are you paying for that for the offsite storage, right? Because I tell you, with DocLink, it's going to give you a huge ROI. You can get rid of all that annual cost for offsite storage. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so moving on. So how does DocLink work? Think of DocLink as your electronic file cabinets where all your documents and information can be stored. Okay, it could be stored on your server, it could be on a private cloud server, and so forth. But we offer different ways of how you can capture your documents and store that into the system, from scanning to OCR technology to barcode technology, grabbing it from email, electronic file that you have on the network. You can just drag and drop them in the system. There are many different methods. So just know that the system store your files and it could be in any format. It does not have to be scanned in TIFF or PDF file. It could be your Word file, your Excel file, your PowerPoint, your video file, audio file, your financial reports. I have customers storing their AutoCAD drawings, plans and engineering drawings into the system, because DocLink store content. So your information can be in any format. Okay. Now, some of you may need just a standalone system for storage and retrieval. You have documents in your file cabinet. You're paying for that offsite storage. We want to eliminate that cost. You just want a system for storage and retrieval of your document. Well, DocLink can be that, just plain storage and retrieval, right? But then there's also live working documents that are coming in that need to be routed around for review and approval and action to take upon. So that's the workflow components that we're going to talk about today as well. And then, of course, there's the integration with your ERP. With DocLink, we are Sage-endorsed integrated partner. We are the only one, actually, for full document management system. So between the two companies, we work together to make sure everything is compatible. All the integration, the customization are already done for you. So it's out of the box. So when you upgrade your ERP or when you upgrade DocLink, you're never going to have to worry about incompatibility issues. Okay? I only say this is because there are a lot of document management solutions out there. They will tell you, oh yes, we can integrate with your Sage accounting system, but they neglect to tell you that because they are not Sage integrated partner, they have to do the customization, and it's not at the code level, it's at the screen level. So what happened is when you upgrade your Sage system or that document management system, the integration gets broken. So you as a customer will need to pay to redo that integration. And unfortunately, it's cost that you're not going to learn about until it's time to upgrade. And by then it's already too late. Part of the integration is you have a lot of your customers and vendor information in your ERP. So what we'll do is DocLink is going to be pulling data from Sage to help minimize that data entry because you already have the information in here. But we're going to also be pushing data to Sage as well, again, to minimize that data entry. We also have automated delivery tool because you have documents that you generate in-house that need to get out to your customer and vendors. And we'll talk more about this in a moment, okay? But at the end of the day is the ability to access your documents. So for your non-accounting staff, they will be able to access documents through DocLink through the web. So in other words, they can be anywhere around the world from any devices as long as they have internet connection. And with their login, they will be able to access documents and approve documents and so forth. But also there's the mobile app, right? We all live by our cell phone. And so there's a DocLink mobile app that is available too, that you can access documents and approval and so on from your mobile app as well. But also as part of our integration with Sage is you will be able to search and access document in Sage as well. So for many of your accounting folks, okay, you live and breathe in the accounting software. We don't want you to have to get out and go into DocLink. We want you to able to do a simple click and it will bring up all the documents associated with that particular transaction. Now, some of you already have Sage. Some of you are already using that, paperclip attachment function where you're probably going to say, well, I'm already storing my document in Sage and I can access document in Sage. But I want to bring your attention to that is a great function. However, document is living in your network share folder somewhere, okay? And when you want to view documents pertaining to that particular transaction, it's only going to bring up that one document. But what about all these supplemental documents that goes with it? What if you're looking at an invoice and you want to see the purchase order? You want to see the packing slip or the contract or the PO that goes with it? Well, you have to go to a different screen to do that. Where this is where DocLink come in play is that with our integration, you will be able to view all those documents in one simple click in one simple screen, okay? And by the way, DocLink is integrated with many screens within Sage as well, not just within the AP screen. So today I'm going to let's start about AP. That's our low-hanging fruit because I hear every day, I can't get access to documents, so I can't approve it. Therefore, it's delay, or then you end up paying for early, penalty fee, or we spending too much time doing data entry, or I'd have no idea where the invoice at if it's been approved yet or not, to pay. There are many other issues, right? So, today I'm going to just first give you an example for accounts payable. So here's a research done by the Ardent partners. There's, like I said, statistic you can look at, but I want to take your attention to the cost and the time. Do you know that for the cost wise to process one invoice, your current process right now costs your company about $15 to process an invoice from the time that it comes into the door to the time the payment comes out, okay? Now, with going paperless and automation, you're going to cut that cost down to about $3 per invoice. What about the time that it takes to process the invoice, getting it approved, coding and tracking and so on? It's taking average about 17 days. We're going paperless. You're able to shorten that time period down to 4 days, okay, or even faster. Okay, folks, we've been around for over 30 years and we live and breathe, working with accounting software, especially in AP. And we find that the process are typically the same in most organizations, from the time the invoice comes in to opening up the mail, matching, coding, approval, all the way down to cutting the payment, filing it away, and then of course research. All those steps are still there, 12 steps. Okay. Now, by going paperless, we can actually reduce that work effort. Let's take advantage of technology to do a lot of those mundane work effort, okay, to reduce it down to about 60%. So we're able to, technology will take care of all the other tasks for you. All you have to do now is just code or match the invoice. Actually, our system OCR can actually do the automated matching for you as well. So you don't have to do the matching, but you just code the invoice if necessary, approve the invoice, and then of course is to, to deliver the payment. Okay. So like I said, is the technology is going to take care of bringing in the invoice into the system. It's going to read the data on the invoice. It can do the automated matching of the invoice. You need to just take care of approving of the documents. So how do you know that there's invoice waiting for your approval? Well, one of the very popular method is by the email notification. Notice in that email, we can include the actual documents, information about that document. So, and also you can approve or deny directly from email. You can even add notes, why you approved it or any note you want to attach with it. And this is all logged in your workflow audit log. So that way later on, if you got audited, the auditor wants to know who approved off on this $10,000 invoice 2 years ago. You can just go into DocLink and know exactly when it was approved, by whom, and all the notes that goes along with it. Another method is through the mobile app, a popular. So on your mobile device, again, you have access to your workflow inbox, and you can able to view documents and approve, deny, and even add your notes. And then of course, there's also the web as well. Okay, so 3 different methods: email, the web, and on your mobile app. With the workflow also, we have escalation. So let's say, Jody, you know that you're going to be on vacation for 2 weeks. You can delegate your work to another staff during that duration. So you don't have to worry about it, being delayed, sitting in your email, waiting for you to get back, and causing bottleneck. Also is some of you may have people who are they're slow in responding, right? You're always having to remind them. Well, with the workflow, we can set up rules. Let's say Jody is known to get slow in responding. Let's give Jody 24 hours to act on it. And if it's past 24 hours and she has not responded yet, we're going to have the system send her a friendly reminder. And if she still doesn't respond again, we're going to escalate it to her manager. So with the workflow, that's done automatically. It does not take any effort from a human being to send that reminder, to pick up the phone, trying to track that approval down. Now, of course, we can provide you with a live demonstration. We're going to talk about the integration, show you how you can access documents from Sage. But at the end of the day is workflow. We have a very robust workflow. It's very popular, very flexible. We can, cater to around your business rules and approval process. Okay. At the end of the day, is we're going to push all that invoice data over to Sage, so you don't have to do that duplicate data entry. Now, as I mentioned, is with DocLink is the big ROI is it is an enterprise solution, and I'm going to promise you is that once you start going paperless and automation in one department, other departments going to see how efficient you are, how fast you're able to access your information. They're going to want to go paperless as well. So with DocLink, with the same system, you can then expand it to other departments. So I'm going to give you some more example of other popular areas. For example, from your sales order, from quote all the way down to cash, right? So, we find that, from stage, you're creating the quote, getting the customer PO orders in, to creating the sales order, and to pick tickets, fulfill the order, invoice the delivery, and invoice the customer and pay, right? So those are the typical steps. DocLink can help you with every single step. Okay, so the bottom line is, document that you generate, like the quote. The quote can automatically be captured from the ERP into DocLink. There's no need for you to print it out or scan it in. Okay, your customer PO, when you receive them by email, you can simply drag and drop them into the system, or we can actually, some customer will have an generic email address for customer to email their orders to, and our system can monitor that email, grab the order from email, bring it into DocLink, put it into workflow. Workflow will notify the staff that there's a new order. Okay. Or, like I said, sales order, you create the sales order that could capture and store into the system. We'll talk about the AR invoice as well. In the day is all those documents can be captured and stored into the system. And then using the workflow, the same workflow that I illustrated with the AP, you can use it for the processing of your incoming orders, routing your orders around for it to be fulfilled, approved, and deliver, so that AR know when to invoice. So able to go in and track, customer calls up, hey, Jody, I sent you an order 2 weeks ago. What's going on? Jody can go into DocLink and know exactly where that order is at, a way to improve customer service. Okay? And of course, is that with the ERP is that we're going to push all that order information to Sage. We're again is pulling documents and information into DocLink as well. Okay, able to access all your orders documents, right, from within DocLink or within Sage. So I'm in sales. I travel all the time, and anytime a customer calls me, hey, what's happening with my order, Laura? Or when does my contract expires? On my mobile app, I live in my mobile app. So I just go in, search for my client file, and able to reply right there at that moment. I don't have to call anyone. I don't have to wait until I'm back into the office or until I have internet connection. Like I said, it's that fast and that simple. Okay. And the automated delivery tool. Now, if you have Sage 100, you have Paperless Office. Paperless Office have the ability to email out your documents to the customer, right, or vendor. But sometime when you send out the AR invoice, your customer might want to see the signed delivery ticket, or maybe the quote or the PO that goes with that order. Well, what do you have to do? You have to go out, get out your chair, go to the file cabinet, find those documents, scan it or copy it, attach it. So it's a lot of work. Okay, but we have our tool is going to automate that entire process for you. So example, you create a quote in the ERP. We will configure so it automatically capture a copy of the quote along with all the data about the quote, and we're going to store it into DocLink, your electronic file cabinet. This is the same method that's going to be done for your sales order, your AR invoice, your vendor PO, any document you generate in Sage or in any software application. As long as you have the ability to print, we can configure it to automatically capture and store into DocLink. Okay. Now, another option. Let's say you fulfilled the order. You create pick ticket. Okay, it's picked. Note's been made on it, been signed by the person who picked the order. It's been delivered. The truck driver delivered the order. Mr. Customer signed the delivery ticket. But now you want to store all these documents in the system as part of the order because you want a complete history, right? So for searching purpose. Well, when you create these documents in Sage or in other software application, you can add a barcode to it. The barcode will probably represent the order number. So now when you have these signed documents, and you can just batch scan them all in at one time, okay? And our system will read the barcode, will know which order is for, because it would then look against Sage based on that order number, pull over all the order information, attach it to the document, and automatically store it away for you. So the barcode method allow for batch storage of documents into the system and eliminate data entry. Okay. And of course, this method can be done for any types of document. But now let's say you need to send out the AR invoice to Mr. Customer, and Mr. Customer wants to see that signed delivery ticket. All you have to do is create the AR in Sage. Our system will automatically capture a copy of it, store into DocLink. Our system will automatically go and look for that signed delivery ticket or anything else that the customer wants and attach it to the AR invoice, automatically email it out to your customer with the attachment. So in that email, they will see the invoice, the signed delivery ticket, maybe they want the quote or purchase order or the contract, any document you want. So the difference between the paperless office automated delivery is DocLink, we can include the what we call supplemental documents. Okay. So, like I said, the purpose is just to introduce you to these tools. So, with these tools for accounts receivable is fast delivery of the AR invoice to your customer, which means quick, fast payment, right? The ability to include the supplemental documents so you don't have to waste your staff time, copying, searching, and attaching those documents. And of course, is improving customer service. So, like I said, very efficient. Here's an example. American Fruit and Flavor Company. They use DocLink for both AP and AR, but wanted to share with you the big, huge return in AR is they saved, like I said, 90% of their time of processing AR invoice. The time and money that they save from stamp, stuffing, envelope, and because their customer always want the AR invoice along with the signed delivery ticket to prove that the goods, the goods been delivered. Okay, so they want to include the delivery ticket. Like I said, is the staff don't have to spend any time looking for that the signed delivery ticket. Everything is done automatically. Folks, 90% of decreasing their staff time processing these invoices and getting it to the customer. Okay. What about HR? That's a very sensitive area. So with DocLink, because it is designed for enterprise-wide use, our security has to be very tight and very granular. We can control the security down by the keystroke of who can have access to which document, what can they see in the system, and what can they do in the system. In other words, I can secure it down where I can redact social security number, date of birth information. So if Jody have access to certain document, employee document, she cannot see that information. Okay, it's all, and with the security, it tracks who accessed that document. What did they do to that document? So yes, it does help you comply with HIPAA requirements. Okay, so some customers use our system for HR for compliancy purpose, just the storage and retrieval of their HR documents. They're able to track the retention schedule of their HR files when someone's been, inactive for a certain period of time, then they can purge from the system. But it also can help track, like, let's say, employee certification. Jody is up for recertification, to be recertified for Sage 100 3 months from now. Let's get her through the training. Okay. Or, all tech support is going to be up in a month. We better get it renewed. So, like I said, it's just the ability to notify you when retention period is up, when some documents are expiring, and so forth. Okay. Now, an example also for HR is our system can create electronic forms. So if you folks still have, let's say, job application or any kind of form in paper, Word, PDF, or Excel, you can get rid of all of that. We can create those forms electronically, in a template. So example here you see on the screen is we have Econo Supermarket. They are the largest supermarket chain in Puerto Rico. Okay. Now, they actually use DocLink. They started with their Sage 100, by the way, and they use DocLink for AP. Understanding of how the system works and the power of DocLink, they actually expand the system to HR as well. So what they do is they applicant wants to apply for a job, they can go to their website, fill out that job application form electronically. That's DocLink. For those that don't have internet or computer, they create a kiosk in each of the supermarkets so the employee can go into that kiosk and fill out that form electronically. Once that form's been completed, DocLink workflow gets initiated and it notifies the AP, supervisor, there's a new job application, right? So they use workflow for the interview onboarding process. In addition to that is when they hire a new staff, you have to, for like many of us, got to get a computer, email address, a phone line, keys, give them the employee handbook, gather their social security card, on and on. List of tasks or document that you need to collect, right? Well, with DocLink, we make sure that those actions and tasks are performed on a timely manner. And our system can send you alert to let you know, HR, you didn't collect the social security card yet, or you didn't get a copy of the driver's license yet, or this person didn't take the drug test yet. So it just helps you to comply with the onboarding process and have all those employee documents in one place, secure and comply with HIPAA requirements and able to access those documents at any time. Okay. So with Econo Supermarket, as you know, Puerto Rico, your hurricane zone, right? And I can't remember if it's El Niños or El Niños, but they had major destruction to the island. And many of their stores were, damaged. Well, luckily for them, they used DocLink. So in HR and AP, they had zero data loss. But unfortunately, they did not have enough time to store all their other department documents into the system. So the other departments have major data loss of all their documents. So just wanted to share with you. Now, another big area, one of my favorite is contract management. Okay, it's very popular with our customer. Why? Because one is, you have many types of contract, right? Some of you may have lease contract, employee contract. There's, software maintenance contract and a service contract and on and on. A contract is a contract. It's just different types of contract. So you can store all those contracts into the system, your executed contract, and have it searchable. Have it able to notify you when contract is up for renewal or expiring, right? But also is, having visibility to those contracts, because right now you probably have contract in file cabinets. Some of them might be in somebody's office or somebody's desk at home. So there's a chance of loss and visibility. And what about live contract that you're working on that needs to be edited? The CFO needs to review and make the red line. You lose track of who changed what and when and all that. Okay. And of course is the tracking of the milestone of the contract and all the fees and compliancy with the contract, right? The audits and litigation. So DocLink can help with all that. So some of you may decide that, hey, for DocLink, I just want a system to store my contract and able to search for my contract. Okay, so they're able to track and know when something is expired, retention alert. Now, DocLink has full text searching capability. So you can go and say, hey, find me all the contracts anytime the word Oasis mentioned anywhere on a page. Or actually better, find me all the contract has the word Oasis and alt text mentioned anywhere on a page. And it will find it for you in literally seconds, because that is part of our full text searching capability. Okay. But then some of you may have live working contract. Let's say I draft up a contract, it's in Word format. I need Jody to take a look and review that contract. So we have version control, check in, check out capability. Now, some of you may say, oh, oh, well, I use SharePoint too for, check in and check out. My question back to you is, do you like it? Is it easy to use? And 99.9% of the time, the response I get is no. It's very cumbersome, but I have to use it because I need that feature. But once after you start using DocLink and you see a version control, you're not going to want to use SharePoint anymore. Okay. I actually want, several customers have actually acquired DocLink just because of that check-in and check-out capability. And that check-in, check-out capability can be used for any types of documents. It's not just for Word file or editing of your financial Excel report, but I have customers using it for, let's say, their AutoCAD drawing, the engineering plan. They check it out, and the engineer would make edits to that AutoCAD drawing and check it back in. Okay? So also is we have, I can't tell you how this integration, electronic signature has helped us through this pandemic, because, we need these, order to be signed and processed, but the CEO or the CFO is at home and there's no computer, they have no copier or scanners. So integration with DocuSign to help you to go completely paperless, through from A through Z. And then also is some of you may have internal contract. We can create templates of those contracts, just like the way we create template of your job applications and, vacation request form or expense report form, because our system, we can create electronic forms. Okay. So like I said, is with our version control, full text searching, retention scheduling capability, electron formula capability, we can, that can be used for any document. So how can DocLink impact your organization? Is that, one, you can start with AP, because that most of you have trouble spending too much time and money, processing invoice. So with DocLink is we can do the difference with DocLink is that we can do automated three-way matching. Okay. You don't have staff, you don't have to sit there and find the receiving document, wait for the purchase order, and then able to manually match it against your invoice. That can be done automatically. Okay. But it's also beyond that. It's beyond, because we can help in accounts receivable, like I said, to HR. Some of you are in the field service industry, where you go out, you are fulfilling the service. You can take pictures of the equipment that you're servicing, able to track when that service been done, and able to invoice on a timely manner, right? To facility management, like I said, contract, like I said, a document is a document is a document. The content on the document is different, but it's still a document. And so our tool of storing your document, management of your document, processing of your document, it's all there, and it can be used for any department. Okay. So some of the key differentiator is that you can start in AP, but again, it is an enterprise solution. So it's a huge ROI for your organization. We have OCR technology to help minimize data entry, to batch store your documents into the system, and do automated matching of your invoices as well. But it also can do, read also, customer order information. We can also do auto receiving as well. It's just a lot of areas that we take advantage of OCR for. Flexible workflow, it could be very comprehensive. It could be as simple as well. We can apply your business rules, so that it automates the workflow process, maybe based on dollar amount, or based on GL code, or based on vendors or invoice type, or it can route it automatically based on your rules. And of course is, remote access from web to internet, is able to access those documents at anywhere, anytime. Electronic form I already talked about. Also is our system is available, in different flavors. You can purchase the software. We have subscription option, and there's also DocLink Cloud as well. Okay. So we have a few minutes left. I just want to quickly share with you, like I said, with Oasis and myself, we can talk to you about the solution until we're green, but it doesn't mean anything until you actually hear from our customer. So let's see what they have to say here.
On day one, we were making money, and the best return on our investment was DocLink. It was wonderful within 3 months to hear our CFO say, wow, I was able to find that contract with no problem.
All of our different groups, our different profit centers are utilizing DocLink in a different way. Whether our service team is using it for their billing process, our AP team is using it to bill our vendors, or our HR team is using it to store employee documents.
We had a problem with our AP being in Dover, that the process took that much longer, that they would have to send invoices up to Dover, then they'd have to get processed, checks would get cut back, and just waiting on signatures, waiting on the paper took so long. This allows the approval process to be done in hours and maybe a day instead of weeks.
We needed that flexibility where we could use it for this company and distribution, we could use it for our manufacturing, we could even use it for our shop mechanics when they work on a utility truck repairing it. We could print out a document, it'd have the barcode, they could handwrite all their notes on there, and basically you can take that piece of paper, throw it back into the scanner, and it gets imaged in DocLink.
Using the mobile capture has sped up the process. Incrementally within seconds, we're able to get a receipt captured and into the smart client, no matter where you're at, as long as you have the mobile app.
Here recently, our chairman, so the highest office in the tribe, came and needed some documentation on some of our vendors. It took about 16 hours of working to get that data, because you could pull up all those images, look at them, just rock right through those, get the information off of them you needed. Whereas before, you would have spent 2 weeks, at least a week and a half finding all the documents before you could have ever looked at that. So the speed with which we can do business has been awesome.
As you can see, there's a lot of testimony we can share.
You are
Customers have been using our system for a long
Senior
time.
VP, Director, CEO, or company
Oops,
founder,
sorry.
and you work in a high-pressure role that is leaving you little
forgot
time
to
to enjoy
press.
your success, then this is for you. If
Okay,
that's not
go
you,
ahead.
go ahead and
Okay, so Jody, we're gonna pause and for any questions.
Yes, we do have a couple of questions. Thank you, Laura. Let's work backwards. There is a question about, is there any integration with Adobe Sign or anything on the roadmap for that?
Oh, it is definitely on the roadmap. It's actually in the works right now. Our first was to get integration with DocuSign. So yes, Adobe Sign is definitely on the roadmap.
Perfect, thank you. Next, where does the cloud storage,
So
I'm sorry, where does the cloud storage where DocLink documents are stored exist? Is there backup in place on the back end?
So if you folks are familiar with Azure, so with DocLink Cloud, it is on Azure. But then also there are many clients that uses, has private cloud hosting service as well. So DocLink can also be stored on a private hosted cloud as well.
Okay, next question. Is DocLink a separate software or an add-on to Sage? I can actually answer that one. DocLink is a completely separate software that can be used standalone. It is tightly integrated to Sage 100 as well as many other ERP solutions. So that's one of the things that I really like about DocLink for our clients is that whether you're using one of the products that we directly support, Sage 100, et cetera, you can always use DocLink and move it to another solution. Anything to add to that, Laura?
No, just perfect.
I've been at this a while. I know DocLink pretty well. The last question that I see is one from farther back during the presentation, so I'm not sure what it references, but is there a button that you would click that would automatically include the documents, or would you have to choose those documents each time?
You do not need to, and I believe that has to do with viewing the documents in Sage. Let's say you're in a transaction, invoice number 12345, you're working on that and you want to see all the documents associated with it. You just click on the view document button and it will display all the document associated.
Great. Christy, if that did not answer your question, will you pop in there again and clarify, and we will do our best to answer it. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. Did we have one more poll?
Yes, for some reason it's not popping up. So, yeah, if you can
There it
share,
is.
please. Yeah, there we go. Is, just want to learn, why you're attending the presentation today. Some of you are just more building knowledge buildings to know what's out there. Now your manager, your boss may have tell you to attend this webinar. And if so, you know what? He or she may have heard it from someone or know someone who's gone paperless and, or is considering going paperless in your department. Maybe your department already have an initiative, right? Oh, okay, knowledge building right there. Okay, and I just want to learn more. Yep. So thank you so much. And let's see here, initiative. Oh, you have initiative. Okay, and yeah. So Jody, I will let you just take it over from here.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining the webinar this afternoon. If you do have any questions or want to learn more about DocLink or any of the products that we discussed today, or have any additional follow-up questions for Laura, or are interested in having a personal demonstration of DocLink for your organization, please contact me. My contact information is on the screen right there, jody@oasisky.com, or you can call me. Thank you so much. And I don't see any other questions, so we're going to wrap this up. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Laura. Thanks,
Thank
Lana.
you. Thank you, Jody.
Bye.